Williams. Now we have Sheila Fitzpatrick.
Under the pear tree. Can you hear me? Under the pear tree, on a sunny Sunday evening, we sat upon the cast iron bench. The silver wind chime that clung from the cleavage of a blossomed branch reflected the early evening sunlight. Daffodils and dandelions dazzled as we listened to a chant of the birdsong. A flutter of wings among wooded stems lifted our spirits. Under the watchful eye of a spirit presence, we spoke of our grandfathers, the role they played in the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and of the curfew killings in 1921. Bridget recollected a story told of Alderman Joseph Thompson's funeral, her grandfather on her mother's side. As she described the horse-drawn hearse and the red-robed city fathers who marched the Guard of Honour, a sense of pride lit her smile when she whispered, they were like crimson-cloaked warriors woven together as they marched to the rhythmic stamp of the horses' hard shoes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila Fitzpatrick. John Pinsmith, please.
It is really a great honor to be part of Revival 16, and I'd like to especially thank Terry and Dominic for their contributing and continuing support to my modest scribblings. The launch could not have been timed better, because this is actually the 5th anniversary of when my wife Teasy and I settled in Herbertstown, retired there. And I'm delighted that her sister Mary and Mary's son John are here tonight to see Limerick's very vibrant poetry scene for themselves. The poem turns out to be the first one in the booklet. I don't know why. The thing is, it links present life with past life, which to me seems a very good way of doing, very fitting for an anniversary. Christy Mahon's Lloyd. Into the barn last week for a whetstone, but emerged instead with a touchstone of sorts from behind a jumble of old tools. There was the long-handled loy made from a spade, rust and dirt nearly concealing the original green paint on the narrow blade, but still a fine tool for wooing young limber girls and fine prancing women or killing your dog. Holding it in my matching rough garden hands, it cut through 30 years and a high wall to West Berlin, where I directed the Playboy of the Western world. The players were a worried group of young Americans, scared Playboy strangeness wouldn't connect. But I insisted we tackle it uncut, like the Shakespeare we studied. A glossary was added to the program for words like bourrine, the spit of, gob, tinker, the divil one, wake, puccine, wished, and yes, loy, a farm tool for digging peat from a bog, dried for fuel, called turf. After long weeks of rehearsals and a near mutiny, nervous opening night, and the lights dim to Irish music, and then lights up, and slowly the lyrical, comic, coarse language wove its spell on actors as much as audience, wrapped from the richness of image and emotion that captured Synge's joyous, dark, raw old Ireland. Again, next night, the last, and after, we struck the set. Bar counter, sugong, settle, dresser, turf fire, gone to the traditional oblivion of the stage. Later, at the cast party, Robin MacDonald, who should have played Begin, presented a gift from them all, reading the quote, accent perfect, attached to a large bottle of Irish whiskey. Sure, it wouldn't do to be eating your spuds dry. Hefting the loy in the mouth of the barn in rainy sunlight on our few wide and windy acres of rich Munster land. I wonder where they are, the students, now nearing 50. Do fiddles or tin whistles, half-remembered lines ever take them back, like me, as I hold, proudly, happily, the loy that never worked a ball but heard poetry? Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. That'll be Hall Carney. That's venue.
Thanks. I've been going to Agricultural College in Mount Bellew for the past year, and this is where the poem came out of. I was sharing a house with two other students that were going to the college. And the title of the poem is called Gross, and it's kind of a play on gross pay as well as gross as in disgusting. Gross. Minusing what I owe and what I need equals net. Yeah, how very apt, full of holes. Other necessary expenditure, how very apt, paid for by the state. Last week, the other two Egypts in the house burnt their sausages. You wouldn't give that to the dog. And they didn't. Binned. They're that type. In their own words, sure we wouldn't walk to lecture that fast. And they don't. Leaving for pints. Turning the key. Locking me in. Alone. And eat their sausages.
A nice Epicurean note there. Yeah. Margaret Mary Glasgow.
Somewhere higher now, so I dedicate it to Michael. I used to travel aimlessly through highways far and near, a search to fill an empty space. But now the rainbow, it glows with colour and glory in the warmth of your face. A light like heat touches my hand and melts the moments we spend together. Like the branch meets the sap to enrich and renew, we rejoice in our love forever. Thank you.